Good morning. How are we all doing today? Let me make sure. It's always interesting to see what our lineup is on holidays. I think the hardest holiday is really Christmas with people. But boy, I got some of my go-tos, my rocks in my life. Mike's here, Sandy's here. Good old Stephanie's coming on board. Some of us in Facebook world might be just taking a little look-see and be like, what is he doing on a holiday? Yes, we are here. I will even share with you. I was just telling Mike, 8 o'clock, him and I, we're constantly, no matter what takes place, 8 o'clock Mondays with Mike. And I was telling him a little bit about my challenge. My first obstacle this morning was the gyms were closed. And so it was like 5:20 and the Mooresville gym was closed. And then I had to start calling. I'm like, is Cornelius closed? Like, what other Gold's Gym was closed, but I don't know what it was, but God aligned up. I made a couple of phone calls and the Cornelius Gym was open. So check that off my box. I was still able to go to the gym today. It doesn't matter if it's a holiday or not. That is why I'm on here no matter what, Monday through Friday. As I say many times, I made poor decisions and poor choices on holidays, and now I will make good choices on holidays. So good morning, everybody. Thank you for being on here on this Memorial Day. For those in the Facebook world, join us. Christian, what's up, brother? How we doing? Claudia, good morning. Good morning. It's like the rocks in my life are here. So good morning to everybody. Thank you for being on here on this Memorial Day. I've been doing some research on some soldiers, and I'm going to share with you my story. I'm going to do a Memorial Day tribute today to some soldiers I've been studying and reading and sharing some of their challenges that they had in their life, and it just blows my mind of some of the things I would complain about and then what these people went through. So good morning, everybody. As we do each and every morning on our affirmation, something good is going to happen to me. Something good is going to happen through me. So on this Monday, I want to wish everybody very blessed and special Memorial Day for you and your family. It's been a rainy one here, a rainy one in Charlotte, like literally no joke, rainy 24 hours, 7 days, no, 24/3. I think it's been raining since Friday, but we do see some hope. Some glimmer of sun is supposed to be on here. So since most of you know me, I'm not even going to do my introduction. I'm not even going to say who I am. You're just going to figure out who I am. So good morning, guys. So what I wanted to do is I'm actually reading this book that I find myself very addicted to. It doesn't take much for me to be addicted. It's The Leadership in Turbulent Times. And Jay, if you're on here, if you could put this in the chat, maybe somebody wants to have a good read here. Good morning, Lisa. And some of these presidents on this Memorial Day were also soldiers. And they had a very unique upbringing. And so I've been really, really impacted by learning and studying some of these soldiers, these presidents, because at one point they were soldiers. They fought in battle before they became a president. And so I'm going to share with you two specifically, one just more about his upbringing. But the one that I'm going to really talk to the most is, and not a lot of people even know this. I didn't even know this person, to be honest with you. Sorry, I have to get my pen over here so I can keep this page open. His name is Audie Murphy. Audie Murphy. And if you get a chance to put that in the chat, Jay, for me, but Audie Murphy, A-U-D-I Murphy, he was one of the most decorative soldiers in the United States history of battling. And Audie Murphy ended up winning 26 awards, 26 badges, 26, yep, Lisa knows him, and 26 different medals of honor, badges. And here's the thing, guys. I had to double check on this. He was like he actually, I remember when I was young, I used to chalk my ID so I can go buy beer. That was me. That's what I used to do. Used to New York, used to chalk the ID. He chalked his ID so he can go to a freaking battle and go join the military. I was like, damn, bud, like that is crazy. He was trying to become 18. He was only 16 or 17 at the time. He weighed 112 pounds, was a skinny little rail. And there is like, he was trying to fight for this country. And back then in the early 1920s, 20 and 30s, like the lifestyle was completely different. And so like he was able to sneak in, his sister helped him. But here's part of the story that I found fascinating. Okay. Here's his upbringing. We all have upbringing challenges. I think our challenges are what define us. And so I wrote down here some of his notes. So he was born on June 25th, 1925. And he was one of 12 kids. Okay, that's a full football team, in case you're wondering. He was one of 12 kids that were here, that were part of his family. And unfortunately, his father abandoned them. So I can't even imagine that. So he has 12 kids. His dad abandons him and his family, and his mom is with 12 kids, and they worked on a farm. And he was making $1 an hour. He left school. He dropped out of school in the 5th grade because he had to make $1 a day to help his family. And so like I just imagine that inside my head of what that possibly could be like. Well, when he was 16, his mother died. And that brought him into a whirlwind of depression. And then the Pearl Harbor takes place. Well, I don't know if you guys have seen any movies that when an emotional impact takes place or in your personal life, we make some crazy, unique decisions, right? Audie was no different. And so what he did is that's how he started to go, Karen, this is how he started to go into the military. He's like, Pearl Harbor happened. My mom died. I got nothing to do at home. He was put in a position where he's like, you know what? I freaking might as well go to battle. And so he entered into the military. And I would really Google it because I can't share the whole story with you, but I'm going to share with you a couple of glimpses and I'm going to relate it to life because when I studied him, there was a certain part of this battlefield that he was fighting with the Germans and he went into Italy and then he had to go into France. But guys, he was in the military. He was the most decorative soldier in US history, and he was in the military for 3 years. 3 years, not 33 years, but he was in the battling ground for 3 years. Now, there's one moment that he talks about that he was in charge of this platoon and there's about 150 guys. Now, remember, okay, he went in when he was 17 years old. Okay, he was in there for 3 years. So that makes him not even old enough to drink. I mean, I think about my life, what the hell I was doing between the ages of 17 and 20, and it definitely wasn't in running a platoon or anything else. I was trying to get my head, who knows, like just trying to get myself like just out of trouble half the time, going through things. And so I can't imagine the maturity level that this kid has on what he was going through. And I want you to think about some of the challenges you got going on in your life. Now, obviously, we're not in war, but at the same token, some of the challenges that you might have. Well, here's the illustration or the analogy I'm going to give you guys. So in this one battle that he was fighting, the Germans were coming through this field and they were attacking and they were all coming in. So imagine yourself in a big cornfield, okay? And at the end of the cornfield, there's a row of trees and there's like a forest, okay? And they're all coming towards him. And what he realizes is that there's more of them with more tankers than what they have. And so he decides that he has to make some educated decisions and be like, okay, I think we're going to have to peel back a little bit. So he tells his team to go peel back. But while he peels back, there happens to be one tanker that they have that he was able to take advantage of, and it happens to sit at the corner of the woods where the field's opening up. And during that time period, he actually gets hurt. Yet he tells his troopers, like, you guys keep peeling back. I'm going to hold them off. Now, there's 3 or 4 of the other colonels and lieutenants there, and I don't know all the details of it, but I can just imagine the conversation, like, yo, man, Audie, get your tail back here, man. Like, what are you trying to do? Like, there's freaking several hundred of them, and there's only one of you. He's like, don't worry, peel back, I will take this. And so many of us, how many of us are saying to ourselves, or maybe to others, like, hey, like, let's peel back. Come on, let's fight this another day. Like, we can come back. Like, there's no need for this. So what he does is he jumps onto the tanker. He's like, all right, if I can just hold them off for a little bit, I might be able to save the rest of my troops. So he jumps onto this tanker. Now, stay with me here. This is what he does. He goes and he decides to blow up part of the tanker, so there's smoke and fire. Now remember, smoke and fire usually make us feel like I can't see, this is a distraction, I don't know, like, I really should retreat. And by the way, this is middle of winter, by the way, too. He hasn't felt his feet in 3 days because he says something funny in his interview. But he does it on purpose. And why is it done on purpose? Is because the enemy feels that they're like, well, we can't see this person. So what you can't see, we sometimes don't believe, or we can't attack, or we can't find the direction because we're like, well, I don't know where this is. I don't understand this. But what he did was he used it is to his advantage because the enemy couldn't see what was going on. They just had a general idea of where like the fighting, the armor, or whatever, the ammunition was coming from. Because you know what he did? He went on top of the tanker and he got the machine gun and he took every ammunition that they had on this tanker and he started to go and freaking go crazy with everything that was going on. Now the enemies at the time were like, oh my goodness, like, where is this? Like, we can't even, like, it looks like it's coming from the smoke, but they couldn't see it. And so what he started to do is then he picked up the phone, and back then they had like these phone things that you were able to report in, and he started to, like, imagine this, like, you're talking on the phone, and for those that can see me, you can really get a real glimpse of, like, imagine this taking place. Like, you're talking on the phone and you got a machine gun. I'm trying to picture this, a machine gun going crazy, talking on the phone, telling him where to hit the bombs. He's like, you got to drop it over here on this side of the field. Come over here and hit this side of the field. One person. He now has a smoke and rage flames going on. He's trying to talk on his phone to tell him where to drop the bombs. And he's got his machine gun going. And you know what he said in the interview? This is what blows my mind. This is where, like, people that want to take their business to the next level, those people on here that are actually literally on the show today, who elevated themselves, be like, it's not a vacation day. Like, trust me, it's a vacation day. Okay, it's a holiday. I get it, but you made the discipline to be here this morning. Okay, that's my point. Now, he says, Audie says, they say, what were you thinking during that time period? All this is going on. He says, you know what? It was the first time my feet started to feel warm next to the fire. I was like, seriously, that's what you're thinking about? But that was how calm he was. That's where his mindset was, that he was able to be able to handle all these things. So after 30 minutes of doing this, talking on the phone, get the machine gun, he's warming up his feet. I mean, smoke and flames and everything all around him. The Germans said, we have to retreat. They started to peel back. They started, after 30 minutes, 45 minutes of him constantly doing this, not days, but for 45 minutes to 30 minutes, he took the whole German army and started to pull them back. One person. I don't know about you, but it kind of makes me think calling FSBOs and expireds and calling my sphere of influence and asking people for some business really is not that hard. And when you put that perspective of what this man did, within 3 years, he had that mindset every freaking day because he had to fight for his family. He had to fight for everything that he had because he was left by himself. And for those of you who are left by yourself, just freaking grow up. It's going to be fine. I promise you. It's going to be a-okay. But if you stay in that victim mindset mode, imagine if Audie, hey, you know what, John, you're right. We probably should peel back. That's actually a better idea. I don't know what the hell I'm thinking here. I'm actually a little hurt too. And let's peel back. We're going to fight this battle another day. How many of you are pushing things back to fight it for another day? And you never really even get to it. Instead of just fighting like today, and like, I'm not trying to compare my life to soldiers by any means, okay? But when I went to the gym today and it was closed, how easy could it have been for me to, like, you know what? I'm just going to go home now because the gym's closed. There's no need for, I'm like, what else am I guess I'll just go for a run at home. I don't know, but I easily could have went home. But I was like, you know what? I can't believe every gym is closed today. Like, let me call another gym to see if this gym's open in this area of town. And I even I said, hello? Oh, you answer the phone. She's like, yeah. I said, you are open? She's like, yeah, come on in. I said, I'll be right down there. And I went to the gym. But see, it's the mindset, because I listened to Audie's thing yesterday and I was like, well, damn, if he can fight people with grenades and listen on his phones and everything else, like I surely can call somebody else at the gym to figure out what I need to do. And then I was telling Mike today, I was like, I got to find 3 listings today. He's like, you're the only person I know that just freaking just tells people, like, you're just gonna get 3 listings. I was talking to 2 other, one of them was Wendy's daughter yesterday. She's like, how are you just gonna call, how are you gonna get 3 listings? I'm gonna pick up the phone and I'm gonna keep dialing phone numbers and I'm gonna call for sale by owners because they're the ones that are gonna answer their phone today. I'm gonna pepper the hell out of them until somebody says, you know what, I think I need to have you at my house. I'm gonna do that 3 times. That's really what I'm gonna do. And it's gonna be, I'm gonna be fine. But here's the thing, guys. So this guy Audie, right? All these battles, all these wars. You know what the crazy thing is? His anniversary of his death was May 28th, yesterday. And how ironic is that I started studying this gentleman yesterday. And he died May 28th, 1971. And you know how he died? He didn't even die in battle. He died in an airplane with 4 of his buddies because of bad weather. He was in a small little charter plane. And so sometimes you never know. And I want you to appreciate the little things. I want you to appreciate people today. I'm going to end it today on a quote from Wayne Dyer on appreciating people and saying the word thank you. Because a lot of family members, there's a lot of people who've lost their lives for our country today. And we need to, and I know we be respectful, but we got to understand the true meaning of today's day. We got to understand that people lost their lives fighting for our country. And so I'm not trying to put into any type of like how it is today compared to then and anything else. But we have to keep moving forward. We have to appreciate what took place. We have to thank people. We have to have gratitudes, and we have to keep on going. We have to keep on moving, just like Audie did. The other person I had here was Theodore Roosevelt, one of the presidents I'm reading, and in what he did in a 12-hour span. His mother died, and then his wife died. And I can't imagine that emotional impact that happened to him. And these people end up getting depressed. Depression and mental health is a huge thing, as it was in the 1800s, as it is in 2023. It's not like we've cured it, everybody. We haven't solved this riddle. So mindset to me is one of the most important things, and gratitude is right there. And so let me read to you this poem or this little passage, and ironically is the same date. This is part of the book that I read, Good Mornings. And so here's what it says. Praise does not say you are perfect. It says, I admire you in what you have accomplished and what I know you will go on to do. Praise is the food of the soul. It goes on and says this, Heather. So often when we are given a compliment, we brush it off or have problems absorbing the kind words of others. We may be able to give such compliments, but absorbing them is another matter indeed. What I like about today's quote, it removes the pressure of perfection. Just to let you know, the worst enemy of completion is perfection. When someone compliments you, they don't think you are perfect. No one is that naive. It means that they admire you or something you have done. Don't shortchange yourself by deflecting kind words. We live in a world where not enough kind words are said. So absorb each one that comes your way. Today, absorb with a simple thank you. Each compliment that comes your way, and while you're at it, offer sincere praise to at least 3 other people throughout the day today. Today, I'm worth each compliment I receive, and I accept them with grace. Thank you to all those that are on here today. Thank you for those that fought for this country. Thank you for the family members who have lost people. I truly am thankful for everything that I've been given in my life, and I appreciate all those that are on here. Guys, I want to wish you a blessed Memorial Day. I want you to enjoy it with your family and your friends. I thank you all for being on here this morning. Take a look at Audie Murphy. Take a look at some of the presidents who served our country. Not only served them in the White House, but they served them on soil. They served them with rifles in their hands. They were true warriors, true soldiers in this country. And so many times when I look at my life and I want to bitch, whine, and complain about certain things, I just suck it up. I just suck it up. And I say that as you hear the rest of this week, our theme is going to be sucking it up, because we're going to be in for a rude awakening in the real estate world, in the financial world, with the big R word, with agent losses. We hit our first time in 7 years, 8 years. Our agent number count is down, and credit card delinquencies are up, auto loan delinquencies are up. All these things are taking place, and we need to suck it up. We need to be ready to battle. And so I want to wish everybody a very blessed Memorial Day. Thank you so much for being on here. And you guys, we will see you tomorrow at 8:15. See ya.